start recording so we can start talking. People will pop in and out as we go. And what I wanted to do was to update everybody in terms of what I experienced with the Women's Economic Forum so far and what I envisage we can do and do better for New Mexico. So basically, I got involved with the Women's Economic Forum because somebody put my name forward as a speaker. I had spoken at an event in Rome, and a lady from Italy who's based in Rome put my name forward as a speaker for the Women's Forum. And I saw an opportunity to bring this to Albuquerque, to bring this event to New Zealand and Australia and wherever I have a presence and connections and friends. And it was an amazing experience. So I got to speak in The Hague and in London 2 weeks ago. So I've been on a crazy 2-week tour and learned so much. The lady who started the organization is Dr. Aurora, and I'm sure most of you have already connected with her. Chanel, hey, welcome. I see somebody else has joined us, but she's muted. So we can't hear you, Chanel. You're on mute.
Oh.
I think you have,
it
okay.
might be me on mute. When I'm noisy, I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. So anyway, what I experienced was she has created this amazing network for women to have a platform to speak on all subjects, all levels. It was just absolutely intriguing to see the range of speakers. And they weren't all professional speakers. They were people who had never spoken before and just wanted to step up and experience this. So the slots for speaking were 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and 5. And they try and organize the program such that everybody gets to speak at least twice at each of these events. So the way I'm using the forum this year is to increase my global reach of women internationally. So I actually want to try and attend all of the 18 events that they have. And I think by now you've already got the list and you've got the dates. So that was one thing. You're not being paid to speak, but you get a chance to connect and expand your business. So what I basically did is I started connecting with other women on the panels where I was speaking before I went. So before you get to the event, they'll tell you who's on your panel and encourage you to connect through Skype or through Zoom. And I just said, you know what, I'm self-funding this. I would love to come to all of these places. Can you help me market and promote a workshop? So I actually ran a small workshop called How to Write a Book in 40 Hours for 10 women who each paid $500. And basically, I've managed to cover my expenses for the trip. So if any of you are thinking of, how am I going to fund it? How will I get from A to Z? We can have a conversation and I can help you put something together so that you not only get out there, you get an opportunity to make some money while you're there as well. And through advertising through Facebook, I had 650 women who've responded to the events. And I'm creating a speakers bureau. I'm creating a joint venture program with a woman who is just amazing in getting you paid speaking engagements. So in whatever city you go to for a fee, she will get you on podcasts, on TV, on radio interviews, on TV shows. She's just an amazing woman. So we're going to be doing a joint venture program with her. So again, if anybody wants to get to a place maybe a week before or stay a week after to run some workshops, have a book launch or whatever, I'm going to be helping people with that. So the things that I saw from the events that made me think, okay, if we're going to do this, we need to do it better, we need to do it smarter, were a number of items. One, I discovered that, hello everybody, I haven't said hello to, and we'll do a quick round robin so that everybody knows where everybody is and what you're doing. So we'll start in the middle. Debbie, just quickly, 30 seconds, where you are and what game you're playing.
I'm Debbie. I'm in Geneva, Illinois, 40 miles west of Chicago. And I'm a coach, speaker, fearless living. I teach people how to live fearlessly.
Awesome. Thank you. Who's next? Just jump in, people.
I'll jump in. I'm Dorothy Kuhn. I'm in North Texas, just outside Dallas. I'm the Inspiring Leaders Mentor. I speak and train on the unspoken keys of inspiring leadership. My ideal clients are entrepreneurs, professionals, and progressive local candidates, people who want to run for city council, school board, and county positions. I love working with the local progressive candidates all over the country.
Fantastic. Thank you. Maria, we'll go across the top.
Yeah, I'm Australian, but I'm currently in Shanghai, and I've been working with Athena Leadership. They're an American group, and it's called Enlightened Leadership, a new way of leadership that will hopefully transform the world. And I'm trying to get a project up and running here in Shanghai with some local girls, some Chinese local girls, and I've been working on that and getting involved with this. So I'm enjoying the different aspects of living in a different country and you know, doing some of the projects I'm working on. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Darlene.
Hello, I'm Darlene. Right now I'm outside the DC metro area, and I'm a children's book author, trying to get up World Child Development Day and just a mentor to moms.
Fantastic.
Nice to be here.
Awesome. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Chanel.
Hi, good morning. Sorry, I'm still in my robe.
Who's your friend?
This is Whiskey.
Oh, gorgeous.
Yeah, so we're just getting ready for the day. I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm an MBA student at the University of New Mexico Business School. And I'm just really passionate about economic development and community building. And I'm starting a new project called Pink Diplomacy, so like pink diplomacy. And I kind of just want to make foreign affairs and international relations accessible to the modern but busy woman and man. So it's in the beginning stages, but I think it could be kind of cool. Just like a quick blog with some one-pagers on what's going on in the world from the mouths of babes. So we'll see how that goes.
Thank you. Now, the two people on the phones, I can't see who you are, so you'll just have to say something because there's no names.
Hello, good morning. Amanda Bergamo. I'm also in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I chair the TEDx group here. We have one of the largest U.S. groups for the TEDx community. I'm also the curator for Global Shapers, and we are starting our first Global Dignity Day to support awareness, to bring respect to children, to teach them what global dignity means in their lives. So that's the volunteer stuff I do.
Awesome. Thanks, Amanda. Good to see you again. And another Albuquerque number.
Yeah. Adele in Albuquerque as well. I am the director of Global Ties ABQ, and we connect people here in Albuquerque with emerging leaders from around the world.
Fantastic.
So it's great to be a part of this. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad you guys joined the call. So basically what we're doing with these meetings is whenever you can join the meeting, please just pop in at any time, and I will record so that if you miss the beginning or you miss the end, you'll know what we discussed. Now, for those of you who weren't in the previous two meetings that we had, University of New Mexico are going to sponsor the venue for us. So I'm lecturing part-time at UNM in cinematic arts. And my department has an amazing building near Albuquerque Studios that they're going to lose if they don't use it annually or to full capacity. So if we bring this event to New Mexico, they get to keep the building. It is exquisite. It is out in the desert. So the logistics of getting people there and back to Albuquerque is a bit of a worry for me. but I'm not going to let that kind of hold us back in terms of using it because it's free. We'll have to think of what we do about transportation. So one of the key things that everybody on this committee is going to try and help out with is sponsorship. We need to get sponsors, one for our cocktail dinner. So I'm hoping that people will arrive the day before on the 21st of May. So we're having this event from the 21st to the 25th. And evening of the 21st, we will meet. I am trying to persuade Larry Lujan at the Canyon Club in Fort Hills to be a co-sponsor. They've already given us a quote, which I'm trying to slash in half so that we don't pay for the room and maybe get the food at cost. And I think he's going to be generous enough to do that. I just have to reconnect with him now that I'm back. So we'll have a cocktail party the day before the event. We will have our opening ceremony at the actual venue or at one of the hotels. My vision is to get 500 women to this event. We are going to sponsor 100 girls in high schools to come for free, and we will sponsor 100 young women in tertiary institutions to come for free. But the end objective and goal for the Women's Economic Forum for New Mexico is to give away 100 scholarships to 100 children in the Pueblos in New Mexico. So when I came to New Mexico, I was just shocked at the condition of women and children on the reservations here in New Mexico. And that's really where I want to make a big difference. I'm currently working with the Navajo Nation, teaching women, young people how to code and develop websites. They work with a nonprofit here in Albuquerque called Cultivating Coders. They are given a laptop, and after a 10-week boot camp, they get to keep those laptops and work from home. So the company that I have partnered with is WSI, and they're going to be one of our sponsors. And they then pass on work to these people to develop websites from wherever they are. Most of the reservations have got fiber optics, so it's pretty amazing to see what's on the reservations in terms of infrastructure. Although some places have no electricity, they have no running water. Some of the reservations are quite affluent. They've got the casinos, they have fiber optics. So how can we help in that area as a group of women coming to New Mexico? The other passion that I have, they have asked me to organize New Zealand, and they've asked me to organize Australia. And again, when I lived in New Zealand for 16 years, the people that I worked with were the Maori population. And I would love to see us doing something for Maori children in Australia. I would love to see us doing something for the Aboriginal nation in Australia, New Zealand and Australia. And my fingers crossed next year I get to take this to Africa and do the same thing. So Ilka, welcome. Please just say who you are, where you are quickly so everybody knows.
This is Ilka. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I just sorry for joining late. Calling from Virginia.
Awesome. Say what you do, Ilka, so everybody gets to know who you are.
I am a leadership consultant and a coach, and also a public speaker and author, best-selling author.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. So from what I experienced in The Hague and in London, this event was so well planned and organized in The Hague. And I'm just going to say things that I saw that I thought could be improved. When the women arrived at the venue at 7 o'clock in the morning, it was very difficult to find where the venue was for a start. There were no signs. It was in the World Forum in The Hague, but nothing was signposted. And the building was in a very obscure part of The Hague. It was difficult to find. So one of the things we need to do is make sure that throughout the venue, all our rooms are properly labeled. We have a map that people get in a kit when they register. So I'm going to delegate and ask you guys to step up on a number of fronts. Delegating things that need to be done on a day-by-day basis. This is what this committee is about. And you become responsible for that, and you try and do your best to just take it over and run it and make it succeed. So we need somebody who can be responsible for the registration. And the registration team needs to make sure that they've got the name tags. We are going to try and give everybody a bag that has got, one, the program. We didn't have the program in London. It was just absolute chaos. Nobody knew where they were supposed to be going. Nobody knew where their speaking slots were. So just printing out the program and putting it in a bag. I'm hoping that through our sponsors, the people we bring on board to sponsor will give us things that we can put in the bag to market and promote them. When I spoke at an event in Rome, it was really beautiful the way that they put together a book that had every participant who was taking part in the actual event. So even if you weren't speaking, your bio was in that book, your photograph was in there, your contact details. So it was one book that every participant got inside the bag. And as you met people, you would just tick off in the book that, okay, I've met so-and-so. Even if they gave you their business card, you still had their contact details in this beautifully constructed book. And that's something that I can put together. So I know a lot of you have already emailed me your bios and good photographs. If you haven't, please do that. So that was the other thing that I noticed in The Hague and London that was missing. The registration team, again, needs to know where everything is so that if anybody comes up to the desks and asks for information, information is at the fingertips. And I actually think that as a team, we need to meet at least a day or 2 days before the event and just sit down and plan and make sure that we are all on the same page in terms of how the days unravel. Meals. So they had a break in the morning. Everybody met in one venue for the speakers first thing in the morning. They had a lot of dignitaries who came and spoke. They had a lot of men who spoke but did not attend the event. Now, I think as women, in the context of this women's forum, we're discussing all kinds of women's issues. And there was a whole range of issues. It wasn't just speakers. There were performers. They had musicians who came and sang. They had dancers who came and performed. They had a lady who did a spiritual meditation during these workshops as well. So what I saw was that there is an opportunity for us to be able to bring on board women whose voices have never been heard and groom them and mentor them prior to the event. So Amanda, I think you and I should meet and have a coffee. I noticed that a lot of the women who had never been speakers were not well prepared. And they had 5 minutes and they wasted the 5 minutes. And the TED Talk format is great because if you know how to put together your presentation, you can say a lot in 5 minutes. But it really broke my heart because a lot of these women came from far and they had a 5-minute slot that they didn't know how to use effectively, and they didn't come across very, very strong because they weren't trained speakers. So I'm hoping that we could do something either online prior to the event to mentor and help the women who are coming to the event who are not feeling very confident on how to put together their presentations, and do it in a group setting of maybe 20 people at a time. Maybe get them to record themselves speaking and give them some feedback. Just help them tighten it up and make it really look professional and strong. I hope you're open to that, Amanda, and anybody else who would like to help.
Sure, most definitely.
Okay, awesome. And
I think that's a great idea. This is Dorothy.
And then what I found was that as people were coming in and out of the different theaters where people were speaking, they had a panel where two people spoke for 15 minutes, 3 people spoke for 10, and then the rest spoke for 5 minutes within that hour, within that particular topic. And I found that some people were hogging time, which was unfair for the ones who weren't. We were supposed to give time for a Q&A session at the end. So we'll have to work out our program in such a way that we have at least a good, solid 5 minutes at the end for Q&A. I found that participants who were there to listen, to take in information, didn't get a chance to participate effectively when the Q&A session couldn't be done because they had gone over time. So timekeeping was a big thing, massive thing. In the plenary sessions where they brought in all these dignitaries, again, time management wasn't very effective. There wasn't somebody there interrupting them if they went over, just making our delegates aware that they had 3 minutes to say whatever they had to say so that the program worked effectively. So we're going to have to manage the time in places where they didn't, it just messed up the whole schedule and the flow of things, because you will get people who will just prattle on forever.
Trude, was in this time that you're describing, was there not a moderator who was going from person to person?
There was kind of a moderator there. The MC was supposed to moderate, but they were young women who were kind of enrolled to do it, and they weren't equipped in how to interrupt.
Okay.
Or how to make them aware, maybe just 5 minutes or 2 minutes to go. There wasn't a process that they were given to be able to do that.
I can help you with that. Yeah, be happy to.
Okay, I really love it to flow. The Women's International Networking event that I attended in October last year in Rome was beautiful. It was so well run. They stuck to times, it flowed, it was efficient, people had time to interact. The interaction for the participants is really important, so that people aren't just coming all this way to sit and listen to a bunch of speakers and not contribute in some way. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, they need to get together in small groups and have something that has enough structure for them to be free to really get to know one another and know who's good to connect with afterwards, so that they've got value throughout their lives, not just in the moment.
Yes. And one of the things that I found with the women who came for the first time, who had never attended events like this, is that they collected a bunch of business cards that would mean nothing when they got home. So I think I will probably do a small video that we will send out to all of our participants on what to do when you come to an event like this. One of the things that I've learned to do is when I get somebody's business card and have a conversation with them, as they're speaking to me and telling me what they do, I make notes on the back of the card. What they do, what we talked about. Because when you get home, you're going to end up with a bunch of cards. You can't remember who's who in the zoo. If there's going to be 500 women at this event, there's missed opportunities for further networking and connecting afterwards. So when I get home, I normally scan my cards, or I take digital pictures now with my cell phone, and I just create a database of all of these amazing women, but I have notes about each of them. I know exactly what I talked to them about. So just knowing how to effectively network, especially when there isn't a lot of time. They had high tables in The Hague in the tea areas, where as people were having teas and coffees, there was marketing materials on each of the tables, and women could connect and talk. I didn't see that in London. The London event was not very well organized. So making sure that during the breakout sessions where people are having teas, coffees, and lunch, there is that possibility for people to connect. Now, we are going to be challenged with our venue in that there isn't one single space where 500 women can come together inside the building. I don't know if you've all seen the photograph of the building on the Facebook group. Have you all seen the photo? So we've created a private Facebook group. If you're not in that group, please let me know so that I add you to the group, because that's where I'm posting most of this information and photographs of all the events that I've attended, so that you get a feel, and even videos. I'm going to be posting videos that I recorded while I was there so that you can see how people presented and how people were reacting to them. So our venue, the only space that we have where we can all be together, all 500 of us, if we do the opening sessions, would be outside, or it could be at the main hotel where we're booking people in. So that's going to be something that we have to decide once we've decided on the venue. Before I left, Rachel is based in Santa Fe, and she is an events planner. She's literally taken over securing the events for us. So she's emailed me a whole bunch of different venues. So for the people in Albuquerque who know where these venues are, I'll probably share that information with you, and if you could be part of that discussion in helping us make a decision where we finally have the opening plenary sessions and the closing, where all 500 women can be in the same room. If we do it outside at the university campus where we've been given the free building, we could easily put seats outside. It's unfortunate that this building was designed to be a screen. So if you look on the Facebook group, that photograph that I posted that is on the cover, that's the outside of the building, and all of that glass was a screen. Thank you, Dorothy, for adding that to the chat window. But when the architect put up, the construction company put up the building, they covered the glass with this film to stop the heat coming into the building, and it destroyed the screen. We could have had this amazing building with massive screens and had everything outside, but we can't do it. So I'm really gutted that the Cinematic Arts Department building was ruined, but anyway, we'll find a way. We'll probably have to find some screens and put a stage outside and have the event outside if that's the way we go. So Chanel, there were a number of things that we wrote down in the meeting that we had, and you said that you were going to type up and share that with the group. Do you have anything with you right now in terms of a summary?
Sorry, here I am. Yeah, I did send that. I didn't send it to the group. I can send that out to everyone. I think I just sent them to you late last night. But I can pull them up really quick and just do, you kind of did a rundown of the day, so I don't know that that's super important.
Yes.
But let me
a quick summary of what we had captured that day.
Let me just pull it up really quick.
So while you do that, we have been given a boardroom at the Canyon Club that we can use for meetings. So anybody in Albuquerque, I'm wanting us to connect and have a meeting either on Friday this week or a day that suits the majority of us so we can meet in person, or I'm happy to meet you guys one-on-one and just catch up and have a coffee if we can't all get together at the same time.
Awesome. So we did talk about using the balloon Fiesta system and figuring out who they organize with to get all those school buses going back and forth.
Yes.
There were some names mentioned that will be on there. So I believe that they're people that you might have brought up, Gertrude. And then just understanding that we need breakouts for about 100 if our attendance is still at about 500. And then we already spoke about the venue challenge. We spoke about a price point at $99 and then bring a friend for $1. And I have a question mark by that.
Okay, let's discuss that right now then. So our pricing model is going to be $99, bring a friend for $1 to attend. So for me, it's about getting the bums on seats. I would rather pay $50 and bring a friend with me. It doubles our numbers. What do you guys think of that as a price point for people to attend the forum? I didn't want to overprice it, and especially for this year.
Especially for this state, I agree.
Especially for the state of New Mexico. This is one of the poorest states in the U.S., and if we overprice it, we won't get the numbers that we're aiming for.
I agree with that. I think that's a good price. It's reasonable.
Okay, great.
And I agree as well. This is Ilka.
Awesome. So now what else did we have on that list?
Okay, so we had the theme is making the impossible possible.
Yes.
If everybody likes that. We have, just having a cultural vitality piece. It was important to tie with the native element that we also spoke about that I can do a rundown of as well. But just thinking red earth and blue sky, drums, performance, transportation from pueblos, and then logistics for food truck scheduling and anything having to do with liquor licensing at the building that we choose.
Yes. Now, it's a pity because I just saw Rachel appear and disappear. Rachel is the young woman who is helping us with securing venues, and she's just dropped off the call, so I'm not sure what happened. And I have 7 minutes. If this call drops, I will send out another link. So I need to upgrade my Zoom to Pro. I think it limits me to 40 minutes at a time. So we've got 7 minutes to go. If the call drops, I will send another link through email and on the Facebook group. So we were planning to have at the closing session, if it's possible, a drumming ceremony. It's going to be called Tribal Rhythm, where as many of the participants in the audience will be given a drum, and we will be taught to drum in unison and create a musical piece that ties up our event. So I'm working with the different Pueblos who are going to be enrolled in this to see if we can get some drums. I think that will give a really nice finish to the event, and give people an experience on Native American music, but just make it really interesting. What else? What else do we need to discuss? Please, now everybody just jump in and pitch in for the.
Gertrude, this is Amanda.
Yes, thanks, Amanda.
Sorry. You said you wanted to get a meeting together next week. I have a lot of space at Presbyterian, it's where I work. We are at the Cooper Center, which is right above Balloon Fiesta Park, and I can secure a boardroom or a large room so that people could come and visit. We also have a cafe, so we could do it during the day. I just can't do it on Friday. I have curating Ted's Salon, The Future of Medicine, Thursday night.
Okay.
So this week is blown for me, but next week I can set something up if you'd like to have a big group meet in person.
That sounds good. That sounds good. So we'll just decide on a day or 2 days, and I'll put it out via email and see how many people can attend. So if you could,
that sounds great. And I'll follow up
the actual address and the venue, that will be great.
Okay, great.
Thank you for that.
One thing that we did have, the last thing on this list, besides the conversation that we had with the gentleman that joined us, which I think might have to be a separate conversation, but we had an expo/festival element with vendors and booths that was brought up as well.
Okay, so the venue that we have has a beautiful courtroom, like a courtyard outside the building. So catering is going to be an issue. Who's going to come out there and cater for us? And one of the ideas we discussed was to get people with food trucks. So we have a variety of New Mexican food available and empower. And there's a lot of women in New Mexico who have got food trucks. So that was one of the things that we discussed. Part of the people who are getting the scholarships, the Navajo Nation. There's a young man who heard me speak at an event who asked me to help him create some scholarships. So this is where the scholarship idea actually came up. Oh, Rachel, you're back. I'm going to stop what I was saying and get you to give us an update on the venues and what you've done so far.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Are you on your phone?
I am.
Okay, you dropped off there. I got a bit worried.
I'm sorry. No, let me see if I can start this video.
So yeah, just introduce yourself because we've got a whole lot of new people as well.
So the update for the hotel venues is that we've got all four of the heritage hotels and resorts.
Rachel?
Yes?
Introduce yourself. We have a lot of new people, and what you do is so powerful. There's people in this room who need your services going forward. So just say who you are and what you do first.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, Gertrude. I joined late, so I'm feeling like a little flustered. My name's Rachel O'Donoghue, and I work with Helms Briscoe. And I just dropped my daughter off at school, so excuse my appearance. I'm normally more business professional or casual. What I do is I focus on hotel site selection. And what that means is that my clients hold meetings and conferences and have a need for a block of hotel rooms with or without conference or meeting space. And I find appropriate hotel venues and work through the contractual process with really the goal to ensure a tighter contract that's safer for you to sign.
Fantastic. So what have you done so far? I know you did a lot of work while I was away.
Say that again.
What did you do so far? I know you've done a lot of work while I was away.
I connected with a couple of people through the Facebook page about the sponsor letter, but there's not a sponsor letter in place that I know of. And I spoke to a friend of mine who does marketing. If you need somebody for marketing, I'm not sure where we are with that. And I've kept the hotels on board for these 2 weeks that we haven't been able to review or discuss the hotel options. Right now, our hotel options are Heritage Hotels and Resorts, which is Hotel Albuquerque, Hotel Chaco, Hyatt Regency Albuquerque, and Nativo Lodge. We've got a rate range from $69 to $129 across these 4 hotels. We can piecemeal them together to see how many rooms you want to book at each hotel. So Gertrude, you and I could talk about that today when you're ready.
Yes.
And I did speak to the very nice manager at Mesa del Sol about the event venue.
Okay.
And she informed me that they've got about 350 chairs out there. They don't have 500 chairs.
We could get another 150 from the Canyon Club for free.
The Canyon Club?
Yeah.
So I did get some good information on, what the venue is able to offer right now. They've got trash cans. They do not have water pitchers and things like that. So whoever ends up helping us with catering for coffee and things like that can help us provide those ancillary items.
Okay. So this is where we now have to really think about all of the logistical pieces to this puzzle and make sure that we don't drop the ball with anything. And that's why I was saying earlier, I really need each of us to take a piece of this puzzle